Hello and welcome to another episode of the JP Performance Coaching Podcast. And to the YouTube, we have a Q&A for today. I'm very excited. I've put on my story earlier this morning for you guys to give me some questions to answer if you have any questions. And we have gotten a few, so I'm excited to get into it. I have them down on my computer here and I can't wait to jump into them. So let's get into the first question. No mucking around, no wasting your time. All right, so into the first question. Hopefully you guys find some value of this Q&A. If you could give your 16-year-old self advice, what would it be? Okay, there's many pieces of advice I would give my 16-year-old self, but the first one that comes to mind is that when you feel like you're not making any progress and you keep going to the gym and you keep eating your meals, it's still worth it. Okay, when I first started, the doubt that I had continuously over and over again, you don't see progress on a day-to-day basis. Like that's unfortunately, you have to be okay with not seeing progress for like a whole year. And then all of a sudden, you look back at progress pictures and you're so much more bigger, more muscle, you see more definition, and you've actually changed a lot. But day to day, you don't see that change, and it fucking sucks. I don't know if I'm gonna get um, shadow banned for swearing, but it sucks. Okay, it sucks. That would be the biggest piece of advice that I would give my younger self. Also, I reckon I would keep my bulks and trying to gain weight and muscle slower. When I first started, I got told by these big boys, eat, just eat heaps of food and you're going to put on weight and muscle and you're going to be so, like, looking so muscular. But it just turns to fat. If you're eating shit food, you're going to look like shit. Okay? So that's also another piece of advice that I'll give myself. So, stay as consistent as possible. The more consistent you are, the quicker you're going to see results. That's the unfortunate. You aren't going to see results day to day or week to week. And then with bulking, you want to bulk for as long as you can, but the cleaner you eat and the slower rate you put on weight, the better it's going to be. Okay, because I done a couple dirty bulks where like you just eat whatever you want, um, and just train hard. Obviously, you get stronger, but the foods don't get absorbed properly, and you're overeating way too much calories, and then it just gets turned to fat. So that would be my biggest advice for younger kids starting out at the gym. Do not dirty bulk clean, um, and slowly build up your food and your weight. And yeah, stay as consistent as possible. Alrighty, that was the first question. Hopefully, you guys found some value off that. Then we got into the next question, which is going to be three underrated meals for bulking or cutting. Okay, me personally, I'm a very plain person. I don't know if everyone that knows me personally knows that I don't like have a lot of seasonings or sauces or whatnot, and I eat the same meals every day because it's easy to measure, it's easy to track, and it's easy to cook on a Sunday. But I can give you some options for when you're bulking or cutting. So when you're cutting, you want to try and have the biggest bowl or plate possible with the lowest amount of calories. Okay, that doesn't mean sugar-free Jello and all that bull crap. It means foods that are going to be lower in calorie, but you're going to have high volume. So it would be very silly, very silly, to have pasta, like a big bowl of pasta when you're cutting, because that's very high calories for the amount of portion size you get out of like a pot like spaghetti or whatever it is you're having, like lasagna, compared to my big meal. Like my favorite meal when I'm cutting is potatoes and like a lean meat, like chicken, beef, whatever it is, like pork mince. Um, that would be my go-to cutting meal because you can have like three times the size and portion for a volume of potatoes compared to spaghetti or pasta. Okay, so that's what I would kind of go more towards. So my favorite cutting meal would be like potatoes, a lean meat, and then a bunch of salad, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, capsicum, all of that good stuff into a massive bowl because it's been studies have been shown that if we have more bites in our meals, our brain is psychologically tricked into feeling more fuller. So the more bites we can have, the slower we can eat, the more full we're going to be. That's for the cutting side. When you're bulking, you don't really want to have very high volume, especially when food gets really high. You don't want to be having to chew down 500 grams worth of food when you're full. Okay, so you want to stick to more high calorie foods. The foods still kind of remain the same, just the carbs also I feel like should be swapped out. So fats normally stay the same in a bulk or cut, and your protein stays the same in a bulk or cut. but what changes is your carbohydrates. So on a bulk, you want to increase your carbohydrates. No unhealthy refined ones. You want to go the whole processed carbs. So rice, potatoes, fruits, vegetables, all that good stuff. Okay. So on a bulk, favorite meal would have to be just a whole heap of rice and like a lean beef mince still, like a burrito bowl. So I'm very plain person. I even sometimes butter chicken. I love butter chicken. That's my go-to at the moment on this bulk. Um, but yeah, it kind of just stays. The meals stay the same, just the portion sizes increase, and you might swap out a carbohydrate. For instance, on a cut, I might have beef mince and potatoes and salad. On a bulk, I might make that rice instead. Um, for breakfast, you might have like a protein oats bowl. All you're gonna change in that protein oats bowl is how much oats you have, like in a bulk or cut. So nothing really should change too much depending on the meals. You just have a bit more leniency with like sauces and maybe going out here and there when you're bulking, because you have more calories to work with it and you can eat more food. But the food should remain the same. Like you're gonna go for a sourdough bread, rice, oats, potatoes, pasta as your carbs. That's the main sources, and then the rest work for itself. So that's going to be the second question. The third question, which is going to be best workout split for a busy schedule. Okay, my thing is always going to be do a workout program that suits your lifestyle. So if you can only do 3 days a week, you do three. If you can do two, you do two. If you can do 4, 5, you do as many workouts as you can for the week. But with that being said, there's like workout programs to get the best results, and the workout programs to get better. Okay, because one workout's better than zero workouts. But at the end of the day, you're gonna grow more and look better after a couple of years of going consistently if you do more than 3 days of the week. So I typically say 4 to 5 days is the perfect amount of workouts for the week. Doesn't really matter what split you do, as long as you stay consistent with that split, and keep getting stronger. So the exercises do matter, obviously, but I always say get in the gym, do whatever you can just to get healthy and feel better, and then everything flows from there. So I'm not going to get into like the proper details with exercises and all that, but the best split is whatever fits you. So for myself, I find that 5 days is perfect. I get a Thursday off, which is my biggest work day. So it's good to just know more about training. And then Sundays is a reset day where I just make sure that meal prep, I just kind of relax for that day, plan my week ahead. Find that works for me. I know my brother, he does 4 days a week because he's in uni, he's got a job, and he finds that doing 4 days of the week is better than five for him. So it's literally up to you. But yeah, that's hopefully you get something out of that. Just literally make sure you get in the gym as consistent as possible. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to go 5, 6 days for this week and do it for 1 week and then not do it the next week. Do something that you're going to be as consistent as possible with for years and years and years, because the gym isn't a short-term game. It's a long-term game. We should be doing this for the rest of our life. So yeah, that is the third question. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this third podcast. I feel a lot more confident now, and I even have a phone recording me, which is something that I thought I would never do 3 podcasts in. So there's progression in all areas of life. Okay, so no one's ever perfect. Everyone has their flaws, and the stuff they want to improve on. So it's very nice to know that I'm improving in this. Let's get into the next one. Do you believe in cheat days? How do you handle them? I don't believe in cheat days because that's just gonna overblow everything. You're gonna look like crap the next day. The water retentions are gonna be very high. But I'm okay with the occasional cheat meal. I don't call it a treat meal. I just call it a meal that you're gonna go out to keep you sane, because it's impossible to do a program and be very strict with yourself, for a certain amount of time without getting into some cravings. So me personally, especially on a bulk, I'm a bit more lenient. On a cut, depends on how quick you want the results, is determines on how many cheat meals you have. But I would stick it to one per week, as long as the calories can fit in line with that. So you have a calorie limit for the day, but I normally like talking about it as a week basis. So if that means you're gonna have a cheat meal on Saturday, that's a little bit more high calorie, than your average average meal, just bring some carbohydrates down on the Saturday or on the other days, and that way you can save those calories for the cheat meal. But never have the cheat meal too over the top. Never have it too much, like too many calories. They're just gonna blow you over. You want to be smart with it. You want to enjoy it, but not go over the top. Don't go into a binge. And that just comes from making your meals enjoyable throughout the week. If you enjoy what's on your program and your plan, you're gonna not want cheat meals. So I barely crave cheat meals, because the food that I have on my program I really enjoy. So up to the individual. I know that some people like need it, like go out with their friends or family or whatnot and have a nice meal, but it's a long term game, as I said before. So one cheat meal a week isn't going to destroy progress. It's going to make it. I would say it's going to prolong the um the process. But at the end of the day, you're going to get the results either way. It depends on how fast you want to get them. The next question is, are you natty? The fact that somebody even asks that, like, I don't look unnatty like at all, but pretty funny question. Unfortunately, I am natural. We know that performance enhancing drugs will make someone look if their diet and training is on point, and all the other recovery stuff in their bloods and whatnot. If their health is in check, when you're on gear, you skyrocket and you look like absolutely nuts. But I don't think that is on the agenda anytime soon. I would say maybe potentially. I joke around and say that yeah, I'll get on, but at 21 years old, you haven't reached your natural potential yet at all. I'm still like basically like 2 proper years of tracking food and training with intense. Only 2 years into the gym, so it'd be silly for me to even be considering that. But it is a thought in the mind when I'm older. Like this is my career and business, and people come to you because you look a certain way. That's you wouldn't go to someone that isn't in shape as a PT. So I feel like jumping on with my diet and training's on point already. Just it would just excel and fast track my results. But I also want to claim natural forever and be like, this you can get like this naturally if you put the most amount of effort in. So it's kind of up to what happens in the future. If I want to compete as well, I wouldn't really jump on if I wasn't competing. So we'll see how we go. Kind of have the itch to jump on a stage, but I need to do a proper diet cut first, and then we can see and go from there. So that's the "Are you natty?" question. Probably going to clickbait you guys and say as a title for "Are you natural?" Whenever I want to make a video, the lawnmower always starts, and one of the neighbors is cutting the lawn. Ridiculous. But the next question, number 5, I think. Would you rather train only legs for a year or never train arms again? Okay, I think I need this personally. I would train legs for a year straight. Okay, get my legs really freaking big. Train them 3 days a week, and then train arms the next year 2 times if I have to. But that's what I would do. That's a little fun one. We also got who's your fitness idol. I don't have like a fitness idol that like got me into the gym. I just wanted to get in the gym for girls, to be honest with you, and it's pretty funny. But like that's like I didn't get heartbroken or I wasn't on my like revenge arc. Um, but I would say right now, my idol, not real fitness or whatever, my idol would be my mentor, Michael Garcia. I've been with him for a while now. He was my fitness coach, and then he's now helping me with the business side, which has helped me tremendously. The way that he goes about life, the way that he goes about his job, his relationships, the way that he talks, I feel like it's very. You don't get that a lot. He's just a workhorse, and you try and be as much like him, but he's insane. Um, so yeah, that would be my idol that I like look up towards. He's doing very well with his coaching business, so I aspire to be like him one day. Have people working under me, and build a community and work with hundreds and hundreds of people like himself. So big appreciation to Michael for helping me, and giving me some tough love every now and then when I need it, but wouldn't be in the position that I am with you. So thank you very much. Special mention there for you. What is the best advice you can give to someone going through a rough patch with motivation? As always, probably see on my socials. Motivation comes and goes. No one's ever motivated consistently to go to the gym or meal prep their food or eat the same meals over and over again. Motivation's like it just comes and goes, and you gotta, when you do get motivation, you gotta take advantage of that and make sure that you go as hard as you freaking can. But um, you, you really got to find your reason why. This one's a struggle for me to kind of explain, but you don't just do something because you have motivation to do it, because that's never gonna last with anything in life, not even the gym. With any, if you're just motivated sometimes and you do it when you're motivated, nothing's ever gonna get done in your life. Okay, you have to do things. Oh, sorry, you have to do things when you don't feel like it with anything in life. Like, even if it doesn't mean you're going to get bigger or stronger. Like, just with your job, if you don't want to do a task with your job, you have to do it either way, because you're going to get fired if you don't do it. So the motivation's just like non-existent. These, like, you shouldn't even rely on, you shouldn't even rely on motivation. And then I hear everyone says discipline, 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 but what even is discipline? Discipline is doing the thing that needs to be done regardless of how you feel. So if you're sad, you're happy, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're miserable, you're worried, anxious, doesn't matter how you're feeling, you get whatever needs to be done in order to progress in your life. And I'm pretty firm on that with all of my clients. Like, if their check-ins are very lazy and they're, telling me they're not motivated and all of that, I'm going to be say straight up. I'm going to say it straight up. I'm going to be like, look, do you want to be on this program? I'm someone that's results driven. I believe in the program. I believe what I've given you can work if you apply yourself to it. And so sometimes that kick up the bum kind of helps them as well, which is good. But my advice would be, get it done. Like, I'm someone that is not too, I can be empathetic and sympathetic, but at the same time, no matter how you're feeling, if you get shit done, eventually it's gonna feel better. So you're going through a heartbreak right now. If you still go to the gym and eat your meals, you're still you're still sad regardless of if you go to the gym and eat your meals. So why don't you do that? And then 10 months down the line, you have a great body. You're over the heartbreak, okay? But you still have a good body to, to be rewarded with, because you stay consistent. That would be my advice. Question: how would you go about a supplement stack? So first, you need to get your blood works done. Make sure that we know what we're deficient in. Once we get our supplement stack, then we can decide what we need to do. So you could be, very high in vitamin D, so you don't need vitamin D, but you might be lacking in the activated in the vitamin B. So you get activated B complex. So it kind of depends on the individual. But my biggest thing would be, probably need a multivitamin, because most people are going to be deficient in something. So if you weren't getting a blood test, you go multivitamin. If you're getting sore, you're finding you're recovering not too well, your stress is extremely high, you should go for a magnesium. That's probably number one as well. Um, Coming into winter now, especially for us Australians, it's the sun. We barely see the sun, so vitamin D is going to be extremely low. So I would say stack up on that. Um, but yeah, we will go with the lucky last question. I've got a few more, but I want to keep this at around 20 minutes. Just because I feel like I like listen to podcasts for like 20, 30 minutes. And I don't feel like if I went on for like hours and hours, no one's going to listen to this. So 20 minutes is good enough when you're driving in the car, on the way to work or whatnot. You can just just listen to it and see if you like it or not. So last question is, how are you finding PTing and coaching? So very broad question. But I thought I'd end off on this question because it wraps up the podcast very nicely. But at the moment, this is my full second year into it, so we're not even a year and a half into coaching yet, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. It is the only thing that's gonna get me up in the morning, like, at 6 a.m. and just do work straight away. Like, my morning routine is get up, quickly put water in my face, come downstairs and start working. That's my morning routine. Like, you don't find many jobs like that. So, like, just being able to wake up with a purpose, and every night, write down my tasks for the day. And I just love writing. Like, I love making sure that I've got everything to do for the day. It's incredible. It's something that, I'm very grateful for, and I don't take it for granted. As much as sometimes it sucks with, like, the stress of knowing what the future is going to hold for you. It's also nice to know that from this point last year, we are 10 times better with the systems in place, with the community that we're building, with the relationships that I'm able to build with my clients. It's been incredible. Like, it's crazy that you become almost best friends with some of your clients because chat every day, they talk about their goals, and you build a really good connection with them, which is lovely. And then PTing in the gym, like 45-minute session just goes like that, like goes so quick. It's literally the best job in the entire world, especially if you love fitness and the gym. You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't love helping people and seeing the messages you get from people when they're like, you've changed my life, or oh, I'm 10 kilos lighter. I can't believe this has actually happened. There's literally no better feeling in the world than that. But on the other side, when you have your own business, it's hard to say yes to going out with your mates and whatnot, because you're constantly thinking about, am I doing enough? How come I'm not growing it? So there's going to be certain points where you don't grow, and you're staying stagnant. But I feel like if you really truly believe in yourself and you really do love what you do, you're going to win regardless, because you're enjoying the process, and you aren't gonna quit or stop, with regret, because you've given it your all. So that's kind of my mindset towards this. But absolutely love coaching. Absolutely love building this business. Like, I'm proud of what I've done so far, and grateful for everyone's support, and it's been really, really good. So we'll leave that on a high note. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. My phone's currently on 5%, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that YouTube video. Got some value out of it. Got to hear what I have to say about certain things, and got my authenticity. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you want to see more Q&As, I'll be happy to do one, every couple of months, once a month or whatever, and go from there. So take it easy. I'm sure there'll be more YouTube videos coming up. I'm going to take this more seriously, because I feel like I'm enjoying it more, getting more confidence. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will speak with you soon. Thank you very much for tuning in.